Welcome to Shannon Confidential. I am so excited for today's episode. Look down to the red subscribe button and click it for me. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shannon Confidential. I am Shannon, your host. And Shannon Confidential is a podcast about life, love, and everything in between. And today's in between, we are going to be talking to Susan Hargreaves with Animal Heroes Kids. And she has been an activist for 40 years. Now, she's going to go into her story from her background and the animal cruelty that she saw and what she did and how she used that knowledge, which is like really heartfelt when you think about it, to pay it forward and to teach compassion to people of all ages, starting with children and all animals. And her story it means a lot. And she's a hero to animals. They can't say thank you, but yet she has worked tirelessly just to protect these animals and to teach compassion and to have everybody live a better life, with animals included, because they can't speak, so she speaks for them. And her story is so remarkable. I can't wait for you to hear from her and what she does through teachings, through speaking, her books. She has a whole rewards program that she does every year for kids who have done great things to show compassion for animals. She's been recognized in ways I can't even explain. Jane Goodall, you all know her. Oh my gosh, she had the most beautiful things to say about her, but I will let Susan explain all of that. So here she comes. She's up next. Thank you. Okay, everybody, here is Susan Hargreaves, and she has a new friend with us today. She'll explain who this little adorable fluffy fuzz button is. So Susan, welcome to Shannon Confidential. Thank you so much for being on the show. Your intro call was phenomenal. I, again, tried not to ask too many questions because I want it to be live and authentic when the viewers hear us and see us. So I'm going to let you take the floor, but they know pretty much what you do, but I'm going to let you describe it because you're a lot better at it than I am. So you're on, Susan.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for speaking with me today. And this is Lovey. Lovey is rescued from the pound. She's 19.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she was rescued when she was 6. She was on the kill side of the pound.
And yes, they do exist, everybody. There is a kill side.
Yes, and at Palm Beach County Animal Control. And she was 6 when I adopted her, and now she's 19. And she comes everywhere with me, and she helps me reach kids about being kind to all animals in schools, in school presentations, virtually as well as in person. Lately, it's been more virtually.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
So when you say school, well, first you have Animal Hero Kids, and that is a charity organization that you developed after what you saw growing up. So why don't you explain how you came to that, and then we'll talk about your presentations and what you do with it.
Okay, terrific. So I don't want to be all doom and gloom, of course, but when I was 9, I saw a lot of baby chicks being gassed and suffocated at a chicken hatchery when I was 9 years old, which is what they do. It's business as usual. It still happens today because they don't need the male chicks. So as soon as they're hatched, they're gassed and suffocated or put in some kind of a manure spreader, believe it or not. So I realized at that point, after looking at the adults in the room for help, because it's natural when you're a child to look to adults to say, hey, look, this is happening.
These are innocent little, what's going on? Yeah.
Stop, what are you doing? And they just continued sorting and continued, killing. And that's when I started to realize that there's a whole world of animal suffering that's hidden, that's everyday, that's routine, and that the kind people like me, like you, like so many of us are kind, we don't want to see animals hurt, are not aware of it. And we need to make them aware of it. And then when I was 12, I organized a walkout from my school.
Well, wow.
As the seals were being clubbed. It was 7th grade, so he was like 13. I was living in Canada, and they're still clubbing baby seals. But so I organized a walkout. So I came across so much animal suffering, also where I lived, which was like what you would call over here a housing project. There was a lot of cruelty to people and other animals, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So that was not to be all doom and gloom, but it's a sensitizing thing, I think. When you see suffering or you have suffered, sometimes you become more empathetic, sometimes you become harder. But I realized that my goal was to foster empathy, because how are we going to stop it? We have to stop it at its root, which is empathy, because we have to feel for others in order for us to not
want to help
badly towards them, right? So there's two main things that had to happen in order for me to achieve my goal, which was to foster empathy and to make people aware and educate them where they wouldn't close their minds at the information. Because a lot of people say, well, don't tell me what happens. I don't want to hear it. I just want to, eat my steak. So it came to be a real challenge to have people consider and present the information in a way that's positive. So Animal Hero Kids was born.
Okay.
Because, yes, it's like triple fold, really. Adults are much more likely to listen to kids than each other. It's crazy, but it's true. Because they think they don't, they're genuine, and sometimes us adults are tired of listening to each other. So you have a child that's genuine, that wants to help animals, that speaks from their heart, and people pay attention. So
yeah,
Animal Hero Kids was born. And then, of course, going into the schools, my background is early childhood education. So
okay.
So I worked in Toronto. I'm going to put Lovey down now. Okay, Lovey, she's sitting beside me. So my background was early childhood education. So I thought, well, education is, of course, key. And so Animal Hero Kids reaches 30,000 students in a normal school year with direct presentations. So they're interactive, and they're for all ages. So I come with these costumed characters and Lovey, and do the school assemblies. I also rehabilitated wildlife for years. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, so each presentation actually is about helping all species, companion animals, wildlife, and farmed animals.
Okay.
And the way to do it is not to tell miserable stories of suffering.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You go into the school and say, hey, I want to come in and do this presentation, and I'm going to show what happens to male chickens. I'm sure you have to do it on a much kinder level.
Well, and I don't. I not that I don't do it on a kinder level, but I don't show.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes. But yes, exactly. That's why I wrote Animal Hero Kids, Voices for the Voiceless. And I give awards to kids who have helped animals, and that these awards for helping all species, I put in these books into stories. So I have almost 300 pages of stories of kids helping all species of animals. Like, for instance, Josephine, I don't know if you can see that picture. Mm-hmm. She was driving along with her family, and they saw a sign saying free bacon. And by the side of the road in a cage was this little piglet right there. And they rescued that piglet. And
I would imagine the person had to give it up, that or they kidnapped it. Like, did they say, we'll take the piglet right now?
Out in the road in a cage on the side of the road. And so this is This is Josie
Hi.
today with Franny. Look at that, they've grown. They've both grown.
Wow. And everything that Susan talks about today, the books that she talks about, you're going to hear her talk about some cartoons, some amazing voiceover cartoons with amazing people she's working with, really, really top-notch people she's working with to do the voiceovers. All of the stuff that she talks about today, I promise, will be linked in, and you'll be able to find all of this information when you're watching this episode. It'll be down below in the show notes. So go ahead, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you. So this book actually got the Skipping Stones Honor Award, and it's in an e-version, and the goal is to gift one to every school library after each presentation. And the stories in here are really heartwarming, and
because they're true and they're from kids,
and they're positive and they're hopeful. And it also, I was fortunate enough to have an Animal Hero Kids Awards at James Cameron's wife's school in Calabasas. That's Susie Amos Cameron there.
Okay.
That's his wife that was in the Titanic.
Okay.
And we flew kids from all over the United States and Canada to be rewarded and recognized for their kindness. And then their stories are in here. So it's really...
So that book is just going to keep growing.
Yes, exactly. This is actually the third edition. So okay. Exactly. So, and then of course, Animal Hero Kids is a 501c3 all volunteer charity. And anybody that buys this on the animalherokids.org website, any profits goes right back in to giving the books, recognizing the kids, uniting the kids, because sometimes they are vegan and they may be the only vegan in their school, and they know how animals suffer, and then they're teased. So they come into the fold and meet
They're with their people.
Yes. So they meet their people. Yeah. And and then Veganza, Animal Hero, is a new picture book that
I love that. I love it.
Right there.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yes.
So tell everybody about Veganza. How did you come up with that, and what are you trying to promote with Veganza?
Well, Veganza Animal Hero, her superpower is to foster empathy. It's actually, she freezes a scene if anyone's being cruel to animals, and she is able to get into the mind of the perpetrator, and the perpetrator feels the suffering that the animal feels. Wow. And then when
I wish she was real life.
Yes. And then when that's what I'm trying to do, real life. And so then when they come back from their trance, they go, oh, what am I doing? And they come up with other ideas to help animals rather than to hurt animals. So that's what the Veganza Animal Hero story is about. A character, a superhero that lives in the forest and helps all the animals and cares for them. And it's beautifully illustrated by Monique Martinez, who doesn't normally illustrate books, but for me and the fact that she wants to help animals, she went ahead and did that. So here's nice. Yes, it's really nice. And so here in the forest is a hunter about to shoot this mother bear and their babies, and here comes Veganza, the scene. So
wow, and to read more, you're going to have to order the book.
Exactly. And I'm very lucky to have some heavy hitters support my work by giving him supportive quotes, and like Billie Eilish's mom, and Joaquin Phoenix and Paul McCartney. Jane Goodall, yes. So and so Billie Eilish's mom, and Joaquin Phoenix, Sir Paul McCartney, Jane Goodall, Jessica Chastain.
Love her.
Yes. Paul McCartney has a chapter in this book, so he wrote a chapter for it. So a lot of celebrities are actually, for animals not to be harmed, as are most people. the reason that I love to partner with them or collaborate with them is the fact that they say something to their followers and they have a huge audience.
It's true. They do.
So I love to, whatever works, you know.
If you're trying to get the word out, you know, you have to, you know, I get it. I completely understand it. And you have to get as much recognition and as much publicity on this, or you're not able to spread your word. So right. It's still a business. For it to work, you have to spread the word. So I absolutely love that you have banded together with people with very, very large platforms to help get that word out.
Yes, I mean, 5% of charities that people donate to are animal charities. Most of those charities are dog and cat shelters. So the little bit that people would donate to Animal Hero Kids is minuscule. So the only way that I can reach a larger audience is through media attention and celebrity support. So that's
yes. You've been on here in Florida where I am. You've been in what is it? The Sun Sentinel, Channel 6, Channel 7, Channel 12. Right? Yes. Yeah. So that's your media. You have to get it out there because you know everybody's busy. Everybody's got their own world. So sometimes it's just you just have to get in front of them and say, hey, check this out.
Yes, exactly. So many times we do like creative events like the Animal Hero Kids Great Vegan Cookie Challenge, and that got well received in the media. We had 600 cookies with 9 different recipes from different restaurants for the kids to taste. So there was the Kids' Choice Awards, and then there was the Audience Choice Awards, and there was.
And then was that a live event?
That was a live pre-COVID.
Yeah, well, you kind of can a little bit now, but
yes,
hopefully,
yes, a little bit. You know,
I saw on one of your websites. I can't recall which one. I was looking through so much of your information. You had a coloring contest where people could post their drawing onto or hashtag. I think it was on Instagram. And there was going to be a coloring contest. Has that finished, or what was the outcome of that?
Well, we had an art contest for. It was actually for Empty the Tanks, which is marine mammal freedom issues where they keep captive wildlife for entertainment, and so the kids. The challenge was to draw the animals like the orcas and the dolphins free in the sea, how they're meant to be. And another challenge we had was the Veganza song challenge, because Veganza Animal Hero needs a song, like a theme song. So we're still accepting actually Veganza Song Challenge, which is open to all ages, and we're doing a claymation. I don't know if you know what a claymation is.
Yeah, 1 second on the song challenge. Isn't for those who are listening, do they have to have music? Do they just have to have the words? Do they have to be able to sing? Can they just submit the lyrics? What is it?
Good question. It's really all of the above, but if they really want to win, I would suggest performing the song in a video and sending it. Okay. And a lot of times we do songs like we just did Pharrell Williams' song Happy, and with kids from all over the world singing They'll Be Happy When the World is Vegan and all these rescued animals. And it's actually now the most watched video that we've ever had on Facebook.
Okay, so where would they submit this video entrance?
They would go to Susan H. at animalherokids.org and see that and just submit it.
Submit it there?
Yes.
And just title it Veganza Song?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And again, everybody, I'll link you up. You don't have to memorize it. It'll all be in the show notes below you.
And we're doing the Veganza Animal Hero Claymation. And that is kind of a full circle story. 20 or so years ago, I did a presentation at a preschool in Miami, which was not unusual. I do all ages, and it was Miami Beach. Fast forward 21 years, I'm talking to someone who wants to volunteer. Turns out their son was in the preschool presentation. He was 5, and he now just graduated as a claymation filmmaker.
Wow.
And he's doing the claymation, and he's vegan, and actually his whole family is vegan. And the reason that I keep saying vegan is because I came to the realization that in order to not be a part of any animal suffering as much as I could, then I would have to be vegan, and any food that we serve is vegan. It just happens to be healthier for me, which was good, but so that's why. But I'm not. Animal Hero Kids is not a vegan organization. You don't have to be vegan to join Animal Hero Kids. If you're a child,
or show compassion or be recognized.
Right. If you're a child that's helping dogs or cats or horses or dolphins or whales, and then join us. And very often what happens is that people learn how other animals are treated, and then they don't want to be a part of it. And that's like a really good.
Yeah.
But I don't say, oh, you can't come here because you're not vegan. It's the total opposite of what Animal Hero Kids is, because we want to positively encourage people to think of how they would feel in that situation, but also they would have to learn what that situation is. And it's very hidden. It is not a coincidence that the general public doesn't know that mother cows have babies. That's why they have milk. They don't just have milk all the time. And then what happens to the babies because we're drinking their milk? People don't know those answers. They don't even think of it. And so that's why Joaquin Phoenix in his Oscar speech said what he did with his Oscar acceptance speech. And we did a little video about that I can send you,
Yeah, I'll link it up. Make sure I'll let everybody, be able to see it. So, they can actually see what you're speaking of right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So the Veganza claymation was born, and we have music by Moby. And one of the characters in Veganza is Courage, the mermaid. And
which I love, because I am an officially certified Waikiki Springs, I can't even think of it right now, mermaid. So
really?
The fact that you have a mermaid, those are my people.
So does that mean that I too am a mermaid person? But tell me, does that mean that you wear like a mermaid costume and go in the water, or?
Yeah, I had to go for a whole weekend. I trained with the alum, the other mermaids there. I had to go into the spring. I had to learn all their tricks, their history. And that spring is cold. How to do the spins underwater, how to use my tail. I have to tell you, something like a mermaid is not easy. It was probably, and I don't say this often when I say something is physically challenging, and I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but I'm just a natural athlete, I guess. But I tell you, that was challenging. That mermaid, trying to swim at that tail is not easy, but once you get that motion, I have to tell you, it felt fantastic. And I made it through the whole weekend. I made it through my training, and I'm now officially certified.
Well, very good. Excellent. So that's that. So this is Courage the Mermaid. So right here, if I can show this.
Yep.
There's Courage the Mermaid. And Courage the Mermaid is voiced in the claymation by Felicia from the movie Friday, which is like an iconic movie, sort of. And it's where that saying "Bye Felicia" comes from.
Bye Felicia.
Yeah, exactly. So she has her own vegan restaurant. Angela means Kaaya in Los Angeles called the Jackfruit Cafe. Yeah, and she's a great advocate for being kind. And she's helped Animal Hero Kids. She's actually read some of the stories from the Animal Hero Kids book at a summer camp for children that are survivors of sexual abuse. And Beyond Burgers actually donated veggie burgers, and she cooked them. And so she's
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that Angela Means Kaaya is now on board with the Veganza Claymation, and she's perfect to voice Courage the Mermaid, because she is kind of courage personified. She's definitely self-made and entrepreneur and fearless. So it's
you have to be. So this claymation, the music, the voiceovers, when and where can people start to watch this?
Well, that is a good question. Well, first of all, let me tell you about Lori Allen, who's just come on board to be one of the voices. And Lori Allen is in SpongeBob SquarePants, Pearl Crabs, and also in Toy Story. Yeah, Mrs. Anderson in Toy Story. Okay. So we have some real professionals coming on board for this. And,
fabulous.
Yes. And so my challenge will be how to screen it in this current climate in a safe way. So what we have done previously at a Veganza Animal Hero food giveaway that we gave vegan food to kids in distress in the daytime. Okay. And then in the evening, we had a nighttime screening where we had a big screen in downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And people came and read the parts. And so we did like the book, the pages up on the screen. So I'm thinking of doing that for the Veganza film claymation screening.
Yeah, do it outside. Like a big drive-in.
Yes, that's right. And then, but Wednesday, October 27th, it looks like we're going to be at the Gateway Theater. And of course we say that, but you never know in this current age, if, we can do the social distancing okay, and people wear.
The Gateway is right here by me in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
So yeah. What will be there? What will you be doing
that's
there?
A whole other thing. This will be more for adults. Okay. Where I don't know if you ever heard of the movie Earthlings, that's narrated by Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't think so.
And Unity, which has Helen Mirren and a lot of voices in it. Well, the filmmaker Sean Munson is very well known. And he's doing a film a little bit about my story. And so we're going to.
Kind of like a documentary?
Yes.
Okay.
So that will be Wednesday, October 27th. And that's during Animal Hero-tober, which is where the whole entire month we'll be celebrating and telling the stories of everyone who's helping animals, all ages.
I love that. And again, everybody, I will set the link so you know about the Animal Hero-tober, the event that is going to be in October. Like, I'll make sure all of you have the links to that. Is that something that people need to purchase tickets for?
Well, yes, but we don't have it up yet. So when it's up, they could they could go to animalherokids.org, and then we'll have the link there to go when you're ready. Finalized. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's actually finishing the editing right now. Okay. And so as soon as he's finished editing, that's when we're going to sprint to get that. But that's the date we're looking at for the Gateway, Wednesday, October 27th.
I love that. And you did mention, I know your title is Animal Hero Kids. You're having this event that's more geared towards adults. I know you're trying to turn the entire charity organization more to, just as much as it's all animals, to all people, not just kids. So exactly. What changes will you be making as you gear it to of all ages?
Thank you for asking that question. So I've had a long history of helping animals, empowering others to help animals, educating, organizing, advocating, and also undercover investigations in slaughterhouses and stockyards. Yeah. And also, I've had quite a history of seeing animal abuse, documenting it, and then trying to figure out how to stop it. Well, really, it's not just kids that need to know about this, or teens. And I've come back to the realization that Animal Hero Kids now needs to be an animal hero.
I like that.
Because we need to empower everyone to be heroes to animals, because we all can. When we decide to adopt, like Lovey, when we decide to eat vegan meals, we are helping all species of animals. We're also helping the earth as far as climate change goes. Vegancalculator.com is a really good website to go and learn that off.
And you also have recipes. That's part of, you don't just say eat vegan, you actually offer some guidance on that.
Yes.
And that's also could be linked up. That's in all of your contact information, correct?
Yes. And we have a Veganza Animal Hero Tips page. And we also have a whole recipe section in the Animal Hero Kids book. These were at the vegan mac and cheese challenge that we had. And then we also have recipes throughout the Veganza book. We have, Lovey's, like Lovey is the narrator. So we have Lovey's favorite strawberry shake.
I know, I read that. I was like, oh, that sounds
good. Yes, and we have Veganza vegan tips. So because when I went vegan in 1985, well,
that was vegan when vegan wasn't cool. So
and nobody knew what it meant. They had no idea what it meant. Today, it's not a matter of taking away, it's just a matter of replacing. So whatever you normally have, you just get the vegan version. It is so easy.
And vegan's gotten so much better. I have to be completely honest. I've tried some vegan recipes and they didn't go over so well. But then I've had ones where people, over time, I think that whole being able to use different foods to turn into, like, using cauliflower crust for pizza crust, that kind of thing. It has come so far.
Yes.
It's truly, it's an art. So if you can do it well,
yes,
you're a gold mine, because not everybody can. So when you started, it was so new. And for people who just say, they don't want to go vegan, even if it's just not even for an animal reason, they just don't like the taste of it, or it's like cardboard or whatever, I suggest giving it a try again, because it has evolved.
Oh,
greatly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look at the 41% of the American public purchase plant milks, soy milk, almond milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, and when I went vegan in 1985, there was Eden soy, and then there was this powdered stuff that you added, which was horrific. Now it's just scrumptious. Everything.
There's flavors, chocolate, sweetened, unsweetened. There's so many options.
Don't even get me started on all the desserts that are vegan now that you can just buy in the store, because I'm not a baker, I'm a cook. So I could never do cakes as so well, because you have to pay attention to the ingredients. Now you go in and you can just buy all these vegan desserts, and 10 pounds later, I'm still enjoying it.
Good for you.
It's so easy, though. It's so easy today. And that's why we created the Veganza Animal Hero Tips. And there's actually a whole team behind Animal Hero Kids that helps Animal Hero Kids, and we're all volunteer. So one of the people that helps a lot is Korin Sutton, and he's a professional bodybuilder, vegan bodybuilder, and he comes with me to foster group homes and helps with programs periodically when he's not busy
building body
stuff. Yeah. And he's actually, I'm currently writing a Veganza teen version of the Veganza story, which will have him, Korin, as one of the animal heroes. And
that's fabulous.
Yes, and his name will be Freedom, and we've created this hero, and his magic powers is marshaling the flying creatures in the sky to help liberate animals from places of captivity or cruelty. So it's
Adorable.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled that that Korin is part of the Animal Hero team, Korin Sutton, and of course Erin Fontes and is wonderful too, and she's very well known in the film industry as far as film festivals. So that's very helpful to us because we're going to have this. It's a 6-minute short, the Claymation, and so I've jumped into making this Claymation, and I'm not a film person. I'm really an animal person, and I'm very fortunate to have some experts around me to help. Though I need some expert help with the computers.
And I do recall, if unless this has changed, and when we did the introductory call, you were possibly going to move into a property land to try to have a home base for your organization.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. So over the years, I've had little glimpses into what one of my dreams, and that is to offer free field trips for schools, outdoor education, where children come and teens, middle school, high school, to meet some of the rescued animals, and also to do service learning projects, have an education and education program, and also enjoy vegan food, create vegan food. And that's something that I've never really had. I've just had little bits here and there.
You usually go to them.
Yes, it takes one thing that Animal Hero Kids doesn't have to do that, and you know what that is. Money.
Yes.
So, but now I have this opportunity in Palm Beach County that's opened up, that's a 10-acre former organic blueberry and strawberry farm.
Okay.
And they're going to have actually a restaurant there, the New Vegan it's called, that may be a drive-through, and there'll be shipping containers that they've invited Animal Hero Kids to be a part of. And that's where I would arrange field trips where kids would participate in planting activities, learning how vegetables grow, and also how to be heroes to animals, and have a whole field trip experience. And the fact that it's outdoors is really valuable at this time, because it's much safer to have education outdoors these days.
Now, when you say shipping containers, do you mean mobile homes?
Well, I think.
What do you mean by shipping? Because shipping containers you see on the boats, there's a big metal.
Right. Those shipping containers, there's going to be a big deck around the property, and on that property will be shipping containers that will serve as like a gallery, a vegan juice bar, that kind of thing. So Animal Hero Kids has been invited to bring our own shipping container. Of course, we have to find a shipping container and first, and hopefully have a sponsor to help us with that shipping.
Hey, anybody out there watching, listening, come on, help these wonderful people, these kids. And again, now it's going to be an animal hero of all ages. Yes. I think it's a fantastic use of space and knowledge and teaching. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's so valuable. I don't know if you remember when I was in high school, well, one of the trips we went on was Claremont Conservation Center. I think it was in 9th grade. And I never forgot it, because first of all, you got out of school, which was good. You got on a bus, and and I learned about nature and frogs and sprouts and how things grow, and it was so wonderful for me, because I lived in a city, real urban city, where it was all cement and there was no open spaces, and for that was an experience I never forgot. I would like to provide that experience to others.
I tell you, one of my favorite trips that I can still remember, I can even remember just like walking up and smelling the salt water. When I was younger, we always went to the Florida Keys to penny camp, and we went for the weekend. I think might have been a 5th grade trip. I don't remember. No, it had to have been maybe like a middle school. I don't know. I can't even remember, to be honest with you. But I remember it being so fabulous. And we learned so much about the ocean and ocean creatures, even to just, coral all the way to sharks. It was everything, the stuff that, the stuff you could touch, the stuff you can't touch, what's poisonous, why you don't touch it, why you don't touch it when you're swimming over it. And to me, the knowledge that I learned on that trip still is with me. It was the most hands-on field trip I ever went on, and I loved it. So I totally feel that when you talk about the trip that you went on.
Yes, yes. And that's what I would really love to be able to offer. It's one of my dreams. Really, one of my dreams is an Animal Hero Kids Hall of Fame, which is like the football Hall of Fame, where each year the kids come back. I mean, I've given awards to kids that are now 23, 24, have their own children, and to have everybody all come back and unite.
They get entered into the Hall of Fame. They get a jacket.
Exactly. So in this case, I would like to give them, and we give the Animal Hero Kids awards, but also it'll be an animal hero. We're having a new logo designed, which will be finished shortly, and we're thinking of actually putting out a couple and having people vote on it, because
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I have a couple I'll send to you and see what you think. So we're very lucky. The Fort Lauderdale Art Institute actually helped design our website, and so did Sean Russell. And the student who created this logo here, your logo that you have there, is in that class, is still helping us with our website. So
that's fantastic. It's like a family.
Volunteers, really, we're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer, and I really appreciate and need more volunteers. Computers are not my forte, and I know that's a self-defeating statement, but they are inexplicable to me often, because they do things and I don't know why. Maybe it was
Trust me, I get it.
Or was it them? I don't know.
I get it. Everybody can't be good at everything. It can't be Christmas every day. Come on.
So it's not a good use of my time. It's so funny for me to put like letters on a photo and post it on Instagram or something takes like a long time. And yet our 12-year-old social media person that I have sometimes, it's just like that.
Trust me, when I can't figure something out, I go right to my kids. My son, Jake, my daughter, Taylor. I'm just like, here's my login. Do this. I don't even know what's going on. And they're 2 seconds later, done.
So you have live-in help then with your.
Well, they don't live with me. They're moved out and doing their own thing. But first of all, they'll always be my babies. But they always help me when I have questions.
That's great.
They're great.
And something that just happened 2 days ago, good news, is that we have the use of a Veganza. So a Veganza.
I saw that.
Yes, and we just had the
Veganza.
Yes. So this artwork behind me is for the new Animal Hero teen version of the book.
Okay.
And, this artwork and Freedom, Korin Sutton, the bodybuilder hero, will be on that van also.
It looks like it's wrapped. It's got like that wrap.
That's right, exactly. So we're going to be able to go give out free vegan food at kids in distress, foster homes, group homes, and then also visit the schools and do outdoor programs with it. So the characters can tumble out of the van, and it could all be outdoors, and a screening, like nighttime screenings to fund the program. And then we're also going to be making Veganza Hero subs and selling them at different events to again fund the program, because funding is a big challenge.
It takes money to put on a volunteer event.
Yes, it does.
It's just a fact.
Yeah. And if I want my dreams realized, with helping all species of animals and fostering empathy in the most effective way possible, then I have, you know, finally come to the realization, it only took me 40 years, that it actually needs some funding. And so in order to do that, then you have to blow your own horn, you have to, you know, be known, you've got to just get out there and
got to keep working at it. You can't give up.
Exactly. And so really, thanks to, I think, more awareness around my mission, we were able to get that funded, the Veganza Vanza. So it's a beautiful wrap, and I'll send you photos, but it's going to be next week, Monday, and I don't know what date this is going to air, but maybe it'll be done by then, and I can send you a little video of it. Or so
I could always just post it. This will actually be up tomorrow, but I'd be more than happy to keep everybody up to date on what's going on, when things open, different shows are available, to start purchasing tickets, everything. And I'll just throw that out there.
I'll send you photos of the van so you have it before tomorrow.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So of the design and freedom. And so so we're looking for product sponsorship for vegan products that we will use in our free vegan food giveaways. And also I'm very lucky that Tofurky has helped a lot, and Beyond Burger has helped a lot. We had a summit in 2019, November, where children and teams from all around the world were flown in, gathered in Deerfield Beach. They united. We recognized them for their work in their own community. They were thrilled with meeting other like-minded, you know, youth.
Yeah.
And it was really, really effective. And it was Beyond Burger actually donated almost 100 of their burgers for our event that night. So Beyond has been very helpful. And
at all of your events, they can find them on your website, and you advertise about them through social media, and you're looking for sponsorships or people where they could donate larger items to help get your facility going, that they can reach out to you through the email, all your contact information I give. Do you have a sponsorship level? Is there any information on that?
Yeah, we have a sponsorship package that I have to make sure is on our website, where it'll say about us or help us, join us. And so, and all of that will be in the information that I provide, linking you up to everybody. Yeah.
So if you're interested in sponsoring, volunteering, donating food, services, time, larger items, it'll all be there in your contact information and your social media.
Okay. Yes, animalherokids.org. If you have a little piece of land that you would like to donate, we'd give you a registered charitable tax receipt and recognition and do an animal.
Yeah, it's 501c3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be part of the book.
And say that again?
They'll be part of the next book.
Yes, exactly. Because the most important thing to remember is it's so easy for us all to be animal heroes. And just because we sit here now and speak about helping animals, we have to remember that away from our conversation, behind closed doors, in factory farms, in slaughterhouses, on transport trucks, in circuses, in aquariums, there is so much animal cruelty going on that we have the power to stop. We have the power to stop it, because we just have to stop funding it. Once that funding is gone, it doesn't happen anymore. So it's
shocking how that happens.
Yes, and it's good news that we can do it. It's good news that we can actually just, every time we pick up our fork and eat, that we can help so many animals. So it's easy, actually. So
we as people have far more power to make change in this world than anybody is even really ready to acknowledge. We do have so much power.
We do. And it doesn't matter how old you are, 98 or 8, and I have been honored and privileged to meet so many others who have helped animals. And one of my mentors, who was 98 when she passed away, Merlin, she was a character in Toronto. She chained herself to the Minister of Fisheries desk about seal clubbing when she was 76, So
Wow.
it does not matter how old you are.
That's courage.
Yes. And then there was the 4-year-old, or she was 5, and she did I Had a Dream poem for her kindergarten class. I have a dream about a world where we're not killing animals anymore. And she turned her whole family vegan just by asking questions. I mean,
wow. That's impressive.
So many Florida kids have helped animals, as well. Obviously.
Florida's awesome. I love Florida.
Florida, it is the first time ever that I went to a Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting where the commissioners voted against the killing of animals because of all of the kids that were there speaking against fox and coyote pinning. And that is a practice where they have a fenced area and they put a fox or coyote in, and then all the dogs rip that coyote or apart. And so that was
God, I could have done without that visual, but it's reality.
That was legal, and that was legal in Florida. And there was a family that lived right next door to one, and they took photos, and the children spoke against it at the Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting that I was at, and their story is in here. And there were 7 children and teens that spoke that day. One of them was a 12-year-old who said, I'm on my basketball team and on my swim team at school, and if fox penning were a sport, I'd be ashamed to call myself an athlete. And
I had goosebumps.
It absolutely affected those crusty commissioners that are really there to support hunting enough for them to ban fox and coyote penning in the state of Florida. And that happened in
They became an animal hero.
Yes. So it's inspiring, and it's hopeful that so many do want to help animals. The average person walking around doesn't want to harm animals.
No.
They don't realize, though, that every time they open their purse and pay for someone else to harm animals, they are harming animals. And my goal, my lifetime goal, is to say, just think about it. And because that's how we're going to stop it. Many, many years ago, I organized a lot of direct action at circuses against all the elephant animal abuse and cruelties, and I was arrested numerous times, and not for doing.
Susan, I have to tell you, you just look so sweet. I can't see that, but okay.
Protesting and legally on public property. Okay. Quite a few times I did end up on the stage of the Toronto Sky Dome with a banner saying circuses hurt animals during the Moscow circus. But now today, let's look at it. Now Ringling has stopped using elephants in the circus, and circuses are realizing that people don't want to see miserable captive animals there doing silly tricks for them. Yeah. It just doesn't bring in the money anymore. And so that's an example of how people.
That's the power of the people.
Exactly. Power of the people. Cosmetic testing. Let's look at that. 40 years ago, there was the Body Shop and one other company that didn't test on animals. And now you would have a hard time finding one that does test on animals. They
actually advertise. You go to CVS, Walgreens, even the makeup, several will say, yes, vegan, vegan. I use a vegan facial scrub. They will say does not test on animals, vegan. They will, right. They are proud to say that now.
Exactly. And when I started this years ago, nobody knew about it. So it's because of education, people being aware, and then they take that awareness and they do something about it.
That's just it. Do something about it. You could be the smartest person in the world, but if you do nothing with that knowledge, you've done nothing.
Exactly. So it's so easy. And I just am thrilled with the fact that so many people are trying to go vegan, a lot more than before. Even my brother, who's a big macho guy that is very resistant to anything that I would say to him, because, you know, families are our last bastion. They just don't listen to us, let's face it. But the fact is that he's trying almond milk, and I mean, that's the barometer of, you know, that's the easiness of what is happening now. I think actually we're at a vegan tipping point. And we're at that tipping point thanks to celebrities speaking up and people being more aware and
funding the education to get the word out.
Yes, exactly. And also people are realizing that the climate, we just can't sustain having 3 livestock animals to every 1 human on the planet. And that the UN actually says that going vegan is the new hybrid car. And that's how we will destroy the planet because of our reliance on animal-based agriculture unless we do something about it. So it's really a climate crisis right now. And so it's not just, me saying this or cruelty to animals, which is...
It's going to come full circle at some point.
Yes. Yeah. And but the good news is we have the power to stop it. Yes. We got the power.
I remember that song. I think I did a halftime routine or something to that. Yeah.
We got the power. I can't remember.
I love it.
Dang it, but
I love it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, I have to tell you, Susan, you have been so informative. Such a pleasure to listen to get to know better. What you do is truly, you are a hero yourself. What you continue to do through education and knowledge, there's generations and generations to come that are going to be affected by you. That I'm certain of. I am proud that I was able to bring you to my listeners, the viewers. Again, I will link you up, and I'm a fan.
Good. Well, I am thrilled to have met you, a real live mermaid, you know. And I really am glad that you use your voice and your audience to affect change, and to bring my message out to your viewers is very valuable. So I want to thank you very much.
Very welcome. You're very welcome. Hey everybody, welcome to Shannon Confidential. I am so excited for today's episode. Look down to the red subscribe button and click it for me. Thank you so much.